Hello everyone, this is Lexicon Architect, and for today's commander, we're going to be looking at Vito, Thorn of the Dusk Rose, a 3-mana vampire cleric that says whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. And then for 5 mana, we can give all of our creatures lifelink until the end of the turn. So basically, this deck is going to revolve around us gaining life and draining our opponents every time we do so. So at mana value 1, we have Dark Ritual, which allows us to ramp. We have a solid 1-drop in Knight of the Ebon Legion that says at the beginning of your end step, if a player lost 4 more life this turn, you put a 1/1 counter on it. And then for 3 mana, you can give it +3/+3 and Death Touch until the end of the turn. Then another important card is Warlock Class, one of my favorite cards, that has 3 levels. On the first level, at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, each opponent loses a life. But let's just flash forward to level 3. That says at the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life they lost this turn. So things can get really nutty with Warlock class on board because we're going to be draining our opponents twice at the beginning of your end step. For mana value 2, we have cards like Blood Artist, which is an aristocrat creature for us. Cordial Vampire that says whenever it or another creature dies, doesn't have to be your creature, you put a 1/1 counter on each vampire you control. Then we have Zulaport Cutthroat, which is another aristocrat creature that says whenever it or another creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. At mana value 3, we have Ayara, First of Lockwayne, that says whenever it or another black creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life, and then if you want to, you can sacrifice another black creature to draw a card. Then we have Bloodthirsty Aerialist, a 3-mana creature with flying that says whenever you gain life, you put a 1/1 counter on it. Then we have Captivating Vampire, which is a lord for our vampires, and if we do have the ability to tap 5 untapped vampires, you can gain control of target creature, and it becomes a vampire in addition to its other types. And then we have Drana, Liberator of Malakir, a 3-mana creature with flying and first strike that says whenever Drana deals combat damage to a player, put a 1/1 you put a 1/1 counter on each attacking creature you control. And the thing that's cool about Drana is since it has first strike, is going to deal damage first before your other creatures. So once this connects, all of your other creatures are going to get 1/1 counters. Then we have Phyrexian Arena, which is going to make us lose a life during our upkeep, but we're going to draw an additional card. And then we have cards like Read the Bones, which allows us to scry 2, then draw 2, and lose 2 life. And finally, another card I want to go over is Underworld Dreams, that says whenever an opponent draws a card, it deals 1 damage to them. At mana value 4, we have Damnation as a massive board wipe. Then we have Nyx Lotus, which is going to give us mana based on our devotion to black. Then we have Revenge of the Ravens that says whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, that creature's controller loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And then let's talk about Sanctum Seeker that says whenever a vampire you control attacks, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So this is going to be cool because it's going to trigger our commander. We're going to drain them for a bunch. So let's say we attack with 5 vampires. Each opponent will lose 5 life, and then Vito will trigger, and then they're going to lose an additional 5 life. At mana value 5, we're going to be looking at Grey Merchant of Aspasto that says when it ETBs, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black, and you gain life equal to the life lost this way. So this is going to trigger our commander, and it's going to drain them for massive amounts of damage. And the last card I want to go over is Malakir Blood Witch, a 5-mana vampire shaman with flying and protection from white. And it says when it ETBs, each opponent loses life equal to the number of vampires you control, and you gain life equal to the life lost this way. And then at mana value 6, we have Corrupt. It deals damage to any target equal to the number of swamps you control, and you gain life equal to the damage dealt this way. As far as our land base, we have Bojuka Bog to blow up someone's graveyard, Castle Lochwain to draw cards, and then Path of Ancestry to allow us to scry whenever we cast a creature spell that shares a creature type with your commander, and that type will be vampire. So this deck is relatively cheap. It's $142. I hope you enjoyed this deck tech and have a good day.